What up, y'all? So in a few hours, we got to see Jon Jones versus Stipe. By the betting odds, pretty much everybody and their moms thinks that Jones is going to run through Stipe. It sure would be nice if he did not, and it would be nice if Bo Nickel lost, because I got me a little two-bet parlay that I could pay rent this month with. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about specifically Jon Jones. Uh, we got to think about this. Anybody can get got, no matter how scary looking or what their past resume is, things like that. Anybody could get got. If you've been watching Jones's past few fights, obviously it's been a minute since he has fought. But if you have been watching his past few fights, we can see there are kind of glaring holes in his game, and it's been a bit of a trend. Now, the difficult part of his holes is pause. The difficult part of exploiting Jon Jones's weaknesses is trying to get him into a position where he exposes his holes. Pause. I'm sorry, y'all. I swear I didn't mean to do that. Anyways, when we talking about Jon Jones, he is so good at being a dominant, forward moving and athlete. So when he is being dominant and he is moving you all about the ring with that pressure, he does pretty well. He got the low stomp kicks going. He got if you circle one way, he got the spin kicks and things like that going. But if you look at some of his recent fights, Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes specifically, there were quite a few glaring holes that these guys was able to take advantage of. The way they was able to take advantage of it is they was able to get Jon moving backwards or somewhere or another in another defensive pattern. So many of Jon's holes are very present when he is forced to be defensive. The first one is his tendency to, when he's being charged in on, is to either long guard or fully extend the hands, both hands. Now, for those of y'all who don't know what long guard is here. So when you got one hand up and then the other one is extended, or you can have a long guard here. It's very common in Muay Thai. A lot of Muay Thai cats play that. The other one where he is fully extending both hands is both hands out like this, trying to reach such that punches don't go past his gloves. This is also where you see a lot of people's complaints with Jon eye poking and things like that. It's because he tends to like extending his hands in towards the opponent's offense. Now, the thing about that is if he can catch the offense on the end of his hands, on the end of his gloves, that's great. Or maybe if he could catch it on his forearm and deflect it, so on and so forth, that's great. However, long guarding and extending both arms does leave you available for a lot of countermeasures. Excuse me. So when Jones long guards, it's a very easy opportunity to simply pull one of his long guard hands down and then fire right over top of it. Same thing when you got both hands extended. Don't try to just punch through it. Simply pull one of them gloves down and then clock up. And again, we've seen this in a couple of his past fights where guys didn't bother trying to go around or anything like that. They're just going to pull the guard down and then fire on him. So again, when he long guards, when he extends his hands, big potential way to exploit him. The next one is when he is long guarding or extending the hands, he tends to be more or less like laser focused on what is coming up on the high line. But kicks can come in on the midline when he has the hands extended. And we can see just from the anatomy here, my gut is now exposed when those arms are extended. So Dominic Reyes did a great job when he extended the hands, sneaking that kick up underneath the extended hand and clipping the gut. Next thing is when he is retreating. Now, stance switching is such a controversial thing, I suppose you could say. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's real hot on IG, so everybody in their moms is trying to put stance switching into their Instagram reels and this and that. Now, stance switching in itself is not inherently bad. However, you have to be much more careful if you are stance switching defensively. Why? Think of it like this. If any of y'all know how to drive a stick shift got 5 to 6 gears going forward, but only got one gear going in reverse. That means I can always beat you charging at you going forward, then you can beat me in how fast you are going back. So when you're constantly switching stances as you back up, not only is that going to make is that going to let me catch up with you, but I could well catch up with you outside of your native gut positioning. What does that mean? If I'm naturally an orthodox athlete, but then I switch my stances to southpaw, this is not my native gut positioning. So it's going to take me a couple seconds to reorient my defenses, meaning reorient my hands. Okay, now his right side shot is going to be defended on this side, and his left side shot is going to be defended with the hand that's in front. So this type of reorienting of the hand positioning, it does take us a few seconds if we are not that small percentage of the population like Terrence Crawford, who's just naturally able to play that. So when you are backing up like that, not only are you taking a few seconds, not only are you slower, but you're also in the midpoint between orthodox to southpaw. I'm here. So when I'm neutraled up like this, I don't have very much balance behind me. So a shot can clip me and I get pushed straight backwards. So this is a great way to take advantage of Jones when he gets into that habit. I'm not saying he does this all the time. There's a lot of times where he's able to keep his posture, keep his stance as he breaks out of distance. But there are times where if you can pressure him fast enough, I believe Thiago Santos pressured him fast enough that it forced Jones to continue switching his stance, backing up, which could potentially put him in danger of fire during the switches. Next one, excuse me, is the jab. Forgive me, guys. I got my notes right here. The jab. So um, Jones can be susceptible to when he is pawing with his jab, or even if he commits on a jab, to getting that hand pulled down. Now, this is something that we see that is a common theme amongst a lot of athletes that's a little bit taller and they have like a rangier shot, but specifically athletes that are not necessarily as boxing heavy. So when you got the boxing tools or the boxing experience in your tool chest, you tend to break stance like this. No disrespect, but I'm talking to you, Israel Adesanya. This is a common theme with Izzy. Again, amazing fighter, great fighter. He's got a lot of highlights and things like that. One of the things, and any future opponents, if you study in tape, if y'all are homies with any of them, please go ahead and send them this video. Basically, if you can get inside Izzy's jab, you can pull it down, you can get your head inside. He breaks position here. So in native stance, we want to be a little bit hunched over and we're inside our turtle shell, so to speak. But if you're not used to getting crashed in and you break your posture, look how much of my gut I'm now exposing. And we see the same thing with Jon. If you can pull his jab down, he tends to play that tall man's game of opening his posture up like this just to get away from that initial shot. That's something where, Stipe could potentially take advantage of this if he has done his homework, if he's done his film study of pulling that jab down, waiting for him to open his gut up, and then throwing downstairs. So again, this is just a few. There's plenty more, guys, but just understand this. Don't worry about the betting odds. Worry about them betting odds because I need to pay that rent. But let's think about how can anybody get got, because anyone can get got. So everyone, no matter how scary, how intimidating they may be, they have holes. If Stipe's doing his homework, he could well take advantage of them holes. Guys, I hope you guys like this. Please let me know down below if y'all have any questions. Please comment it. Actually, this is no longer a free video, y'all. I have a question. When you shake a chick's hand, if you a dude, you be shaking like this, or you get the chick hand shaped like this. And the reason I ask is I seen this chick going like this, and I went in like that to be respectful. And my son like gripped me up like this, and hit me with that man shake like this. I didn't know what to do. So comment down below. You be shaking chicks' hands like this or a regular one? Anyways, enjoy tonight. If you have any questions, holler at me. Boring Breakdowns on Instagram and Boring Breakdowns on YouTube. Peace.